Hi, it's Steve again, another health chat. Today I wanted to talk about water. We have a Berkey water system here, and it's interesting because Shirley and I used to travel around the United States, actually we still do, and a lot of the homes we would visit had Berkey water systems in it, and I wasn't really aware what a Berkey system was, and one day I asked one of our friends, I said, "Why do you use that?" And they said, "You mean you don't?" So I thought, well, fill me in. What's going on here? So they began to tell me about how well the Berkey system filtered water. Now, I don't know if you know this, less than 1% of the world's water sources are actually drinkable. Now, a lot of that's because it's salt water, because of the oceans. But more and more, our freshwater sources are being contaminated. I don't know if any of you remember the Flint, the Flint system, the Flint municipal water system in Michigan. But in fact, last I heard, they're still trying to get the lead out. You hear that term, get the lead out. Well, with water, that's not such a good thing. When you're running track, that's a good thing because it helps you run faster. But with water, you want to get the lead out. So one of the great things about the Berkey system, I just was reading online just so I made sure I said the right numbers for you. The EPA has a level at which if the lead content goes over, and it's so many parts per billion, it's a very minuscule amount because our body stores it so easily. If it goes over that amount, they will recommend that something has to be done to address that. Well, Berkey wanted to make sure that they were really meeting the standards, and so what they did was they had a special lab put in 67 times more than the level that EPA gets worried about into a water source, and then they started putting the water through the system. And they ran over 200 gallons, and every 10 gallons or so they'd run another test. By the time it got to 200 gallons, there was virtually no change. And it looked, the evidence was that Berkey was able to remove 99+% of all of that lead in the water, making it extremely safe to drink. And so one of the things that I really appreciate about Berkey, first of all, it's safe. It actually makes your water safe. It takes the contaminants out of the water. The Berkey system is a unique system because what you do is you put water in the top. It has these filters in the top. And the water, by gravity, slowly goes through those filters into the bottom, where you then pour out your drinking water. And that's another thing, the taste. How many of you have visited somebody, or you're in a hotel or something, you go to get a drink and it's like, chlorine, yuck. Well, you don't have that problem with Berkey. And kind of a neat thing, this is our travel model. We travel a lot with our fifth wheel. And this sits right in our sink, so even when we're going down rough roads, it doesn't get tipped over anything. This is the travel model. It's actually one of the more economical ones for my wife and I. This is plenty of water. So it not only takes contaminants out of your water, but it gives you great tasting water. So now I'd like to tell you that it's very economical, and it is. But I don't think some of you want to worry about whether it's economical or not. Let's think about how easy it is. Bottled water. How many of you, I go down to the Publix or the Safeway or one of the stores, Cougars or whatever, and I see people all the time hauling cases of this water out, this bottled water. And they lug it out and put it in their trunk, and then they take it home and lug it out into their pantry or wherever. And then they start drinking water out of these bottles. Little do they realize that, first of all, most of these bottles will leach BHP into the water, which is not good for you. It's a chlorine derivative that comes out of the plastic, and BPA, as I think I made a mistake when I said, but BPA, and it's not good for you. So that's number one reason why you don't want to do it. Number two, it's expensive. I was at we didn't have went to a wedding in Florida not that long ago, and we didn't have room in our little car for the filter, so we took all the bottled water we could. We had a bunch of them, but we ran out, so we had to stop by a station and buy some water, which was terrible. But you know, I think it was $5 for 2 bottles. For Pete's sake, this is ridiculous. When did you ever think that you would pay more for water to drink than you pay for gas in your tank? But there it is. That's what it was. So first of all, I mean, or above all, or in addition to, you don't have to do this. What you can do is you can have a reusable nice metal container, a nice glass container, or even a non-BPA plastic, and you can keep refilling your water into your bottle and take it along with you. So, and if you have it set up at home, you just use your glass and take it out of there. And another thing, once you drank the water, what are you going to do with the plastic? Well, you crunch it up and you put it in a wastebasket, but do you realize how much landfill that this covers? Do you realize how many billions of water bottles are out there in the landfill right now that we wouldn't have to have out there if we would be using these? So I just wanted to give you a little rundown on the Berkey system. It has proven to be the best in the market. It is superior because of that slow drip through. There's a lot more contact with the filter than if most other filters have to have pressure to push the water through. And so that water goes through fast and there's not a lot of contact time for that water to be filtered. The Berkey system allows that water to trickle down. And there's another thing that happens. I wrote an article in the Masters of Health magazine several months ago on structuring water. And what we found is that when water is allowed to flow by gravity and actually drip into another pool, it actually structures the water and gives it a better molecular structure that our body can work with easier and better. So just putting a few of those things together. Oh, one other thing, Giardia. That's one of the things that Berkey really shines at. Giardia is getting into the water systems more and more. When I was a kid, we used to hike in Yosemite, and we had a little, what we call a little Sierra cup we could put on our belt. And we'd be walking through a stream, and we'd just dip down in the stream, and we'd get a drink of water and keep on hiking, and never even have a second thought about it. Today, you can't do that because there's so much Giardia. The animals have drank the water, and it disperses more into other water. And there's really no water sources in the wild anymore that don't have Giardia. And the beautiful thing, I don't have one sitting here, but they also have Berkey also has a travel filter that's about this size. It's blue. Has the filter inside, and you actually can suck the water through that filter and filter as you go. So you could actually stop in one of those streams and fill your water bottle and then drink it through your filter. And you can have that with your backpack. So Berkey has really thought of all of the different situations. And I just want to give it a real thumbs up. And I want you to come to our site and give it a go. There's a lot of information we've got on there. The Calming Store, www.thecalmingstore.com. Come to our store and take a look. And after all, once you've taken a look, you're going to see there's nothing better. Buy one. And you will never regret that you have your Berkey sitting on your counter. Take care. Thanks for your time.